Okay, welcome to another empty arena show, AEW, in quarantine, of course. What do I got to say about this? And like I said before, I don't know how long we're going to be watching these empty arena shows, but sometime it gets weird, and that's a little bit more weirder this week in regards to this show for AEW, because we did kick off the show once again back at Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida. We had Tony Schiavone, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega that were on commentary. JR, Taz, or Excalibur could not make the travel. I guess they are limiting the people who they let into the building, because I heard they've even came up with more stricter rules over in Florida now. And I don't know how it is in Jacksonville, but I know just throughout all the state of Florida that the rules in curfew time, or just how many people you can even let in a building, are getting more and more stricter. You know, I blame those motherfucking idiots on spring break for that shit, not taking this thing seriously. But obviously you saw tonight that this was even more, like I said, strict. So JR and them could not make it. They were on Twitter throughout the whole night. But we only had, most of you going to see Cody Rhodes and Tony Schiavone on commentary, but we had Kenny Omega at the beginning. They talked about what was going all over on the show tonight. But we did kick off the show with Cody Rhodes himself, who was about to wrestle. He came to the ring. Brandy Rhodes was still the ring announcer this week. Aubrey Edwards, the referee. Cody came out, made his entrance. Of course, kissed his wife. He went against Jimmy Havoc. And when I heard about this match, I even said to myself, Cody is going to have to carry this entire match, because I just don't think Jimmy Havoc is that good, honestly. And I've said before, he looks like shit out there, and I think there's a reason why he's on Dark. So I was surprised that they had this much time out here, but I can understand why they had this much time out on this match. Kenny was on commentary. He was... I don't know. I would say about Kenny Omega on commentary, to be honest, but couple times. Listen, this match with him and Havoc, which they even had people betting in the back this time, so you saw people like Billy Gunn and Sean Spears, I believe. Jericho was in the back. They were all, betting money. So I guess, because this week there was no wrestlers in the attendance like they had last week. Like I said, I'm sure there's more stricter rules over there in Florida right now. So, like tonight, like last week, you saw they put some of the wrestlers in the crowd to make them like fans and bet money. But I guess still what's going on right now, I guess they just show the camera in the back. So there was no crowd. Okay, there was no crowd. All you got was silence tonight. Okay. So you weren't going to get a crowd from here. The match itself, though, I had a lot of time for like 10 minutes. It was okay. Like I said, Cody had to carry this shit, okay? He was the one that carried this match. I know Jimmy Havoc had put on the headset at one point, talk about Cody and Cody doing this. I guess that's a regular move now, where he runs all the way to the back and then comes back front and does a clothesline and everything. Like I said, it was okay. But, Cody won with the crossroads. But, I said before, when he was going to go against Jimmy Havoc, I was like, he's going to have to carry his damn match. He really is. And that's what he did. So at least he brought it to something. It was okay for what it was. But it's Jimmy Havoc for all people. So it's not like he was in one of these hardcore, whatever, blood match. Which I'm sure they don't want any type of blood being spread right now. So this is what we got tonight. But then after the match, we went to Jake Roberts, who was on the screen, as he was sitting somewhere in front of a pit fire. It looked like it was pre-tape, talking about, how the phone has not been ringing for him when AEW started, or Lance Archer, while he was over there in New Japan. You guys kind of, shadowed past them and everything, or just went through them. That his phone didn't even ring when AEW even started up. And he pretty much wanted a match against Rhodes, and you're still ignoring us and everything. And pretty much said that you are afraid of Lance Archer. And he pretty much offered, Cody, just put anybody in the ring with Archer. Just put anyone in there with him. And we'll show you that he's ready. Because then he starts calling, you bring your old, calling Arn Anderson an old man, and then call Brandy Monica or Summer, and called her, Cleopatra, because, Cody is Caesar there, as Jake Roberts calls him. So Caesar and Cleopatra and everything, and pretty much Cody, he says, all I just need is one meeting with you, okay? Trust me. So you just gotta trust Jake Roberts. Alright, so another great promo by Jake Roberts. I have to rewind it because it was kind of hard to hear him, but he's got that graspy, kind of like very ill voice going on. I didn't understand what he said the first time. When I went back to look at it, I was like, oh, that's a great promo by Jake Roberts as usual. So another great one. It would have been better, some think of live, but I can understand why he probably was on the show and they pre-taped this whole thing, because at least it's not Lance Archer beating up these meth-looking guys in the woods again somewhere, since, Jake Roberts said I gotta pay for all these medical bills and stuff. So another great promo by Archer. So at least, not Archer, but Jake Roberts. So they're still building up this whole, excuse me, Archer and Cody match that's gonna be coming. But like I said, Jake's been the one on the mic talking the whole time. But, Cody did respond back on the commentary when she got back onto the table, say that Jake Roberts is bitter and jaded, and, if Archer wants a match in AEW, you don't got to start with me. I don't want to be the whining face out here and anything, but if you want some, let's go. But then they went to a video package for Darby Allin, and by the way, this is the rest of the night. You're going to see both Cody Rhodes and Tony Schiavone on commentary throughout the entire night, which I thought Cody did pretty good on commentary. I will say that. He wasn't really bad with him and Schiavone. Pretty funny a couple times there, too. But they went to Darby Allin, who was driving his truck, and talked about Kip Sabian, saying that you don't seem so super bad to me. And he had all these faces of the Inner Circle and a little bit of the bubbly, like, cardboard cutouts on his face. But he knows some super bad people, which is the Inner Circle. And he wanted to, learn how bad he could get before he learns his lesson. So basically, Sabian is going to be a sacrifice just to get to the Inner Circle. Alright? But Sabian and Penelope Ford pretty much came out. Darby Allin, no skateboard, which I don't think it was enough room to skateboard down to the ring. This match was excuse me. This match here, not bad. I thought it was kind of funny, though, because I know some technical issues, and now you can hear some of the guys saying we're back and everything, but I noticed one thing when they kind of started throwing each other into the barricades. I'm sure a lot of people were saying tonight that Cody took a shot at WWE, talking about the barricades, saying, ours are bike racks. We don't have a foam wall or anything like some other companies and whatnot. And I can see why people said they were taking a shot about the barricades and everything now. So, going back and looking at it. But it was one funny part when they said, all right, people, we're going to go to commercial, but they were still talking and going to Fight TV talking before they actually went on commercial. Penelope Ford did get involved several times throughout this match to try to help Sabian, but Darby Allin ended up getting the win with the Last Supper, or some say the Gibson leg lock pin, and Darby Allin got the win from there. Not a bad match, I will say. Like I said, Darby Allin's suicide dive is still great. Sabian there, I'm surprised they didn't throw him out there with Colt Cabana after, he nuffed him last week in the face and everything, but Darby Allin's gonna win. I'm sure everybody kind of knew that. Sabian, I don't know where they're going with. Just that many interferences and he still couldn't win. So, yeah. Allin got the win. Jake Hager, which had a video package of him beating up several people, which mostly was either Dustin Rhodes or QT Marshall, pretty much showing how tough he is. He went against Chico Adams, basically a jobber. Jake Hager won with that triangle-like choke he has going on. With that triangle choke, but like that triangle type of arm choke, whatever it's called, but he won with submission, basically. John Moxley then came to the ring and pretty much attacked Jake Hager before hitting him with a Death Rider, and he was going to put him in an ankle lock, but Mox pretty much got out of there. No, he was going to put an ankle lock, but yeah, Hager got out of there then, and Moxley pretty much tried to get him and hit the belt at him, but it did not work. Hager ended up getting away as Mox was still going after him. Pretty much then they showed John Moxley cutting a promo then from the back, pretty much talking about Jake Hager, saying that you need to check your blind spot because he's ready for action and he's ready to be back and he's out for blood right now. And, you know, when it comes to his head and his title is on the line, and he told Jake Hager he's going to be carted out on a stretcher or he will die trying to take him out. So that was going to happen. But yeah, great promo from Moxley though. Next though, after Moxley's promo, they went back to talking about the Dark Order. Now, I'm sure this is a thing everybody was talking about tonight, and there's a lot of opinions on this, because of course they showed what happened last week with the debut of Brody Lee being the Exalted One, but then we had another video of Brody Lee where he was in a suit at a restaurant eating, looked like a New York steak. I think it looked like a good steak, by the way, but John Silver and Alex Reynolds were there, and he pretty much was talking about strength in numbers as they sat there and everything. And I guess they were in some type of restaurant, steakhouse. And, you know, you must do what you do to prey on the weak. And, you know, they were sitting there and Lee was pretty much eating. And, pretty much, I guess they couldn't eat until he finishes because one of them picked up like a fork and he says, you know what, get out, okay, you cannot eat, I eat first, then you can eat, you don't say nothing until I finish eating my food, you gotta go. And then next thing, John Silver was still there and he ended up sneezing and he kicked them out then, and pretty much says, no, you gotta go, which then again, I probably would have understood the sneezing stuff. It's a fucking pandemic going on around right now, you can't trust anybody. But I did not really figure this out till people started saying on the internet that these were actual shots taken at Vince McMahon tonight. So this is 2 weeks in a row now they have either taken a shot at the WWE or Vince himself. Because there's been stories before about Vince's, he does not like anyone sneezing around him. And I think they even had like a thing about on one of them. I think WWE even said it themselves. They had like a little parody of it. But I've heard stories from other wrestlers before. I think Cornette said this in his podcast about Vince does not like people sneezing around him, because I know WWE had like one of those, I forget what it's called, those story time WWE things, and Vince's eating habits or something. I don't know about the whole he has to eat first, then you can eat, but I have heard the sneezing thing. So basically, when I'm sitting here wondering now, is Brody Lee supposed to be the new Vince McMahon right now and, take these shots around him? Because last week, we did the whole, you're just an out-of-touch old man who didn't believe on me. Now we're making fun of, I guess, what he does in his personal time, and you should not sneeze around Vince McMahon. I guess doesn't like germs. Then again, who does, especially right now? But, you cannot sneeze around Vince McMahon if he eats. So, yeah, that's 2 shots in a row this week. Will we have a third one next week? I don't know. But that is one of the promos that everyone's been talking about throughout the entire night was, Brody Lee, I guess, trying to take shots at Vince McMahon. So, 2 weeks in a row there, people. But Brody Lee ended up going against QT Marshall. Basically a squash match. Didn't think QT Marshall would even get that much offense on him, but he didn't Seguri, but Brody Lee ended up hitting like a side slam and then hit him with that discus lariat for the win. So good debut for Brody Lee. Harper, whatever you call him. I think he has the last time I think anybody's even seen this guy wrestle was when I think when he was still with Rowan. I think it was when that's that TLC paper. I mean, that's the last time I saw or Brody Lee on WWE TV, and that was like, what, way back in December, if I want to go that far, if necessary. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but he was pretty much gone soon enough right after. But he did debut back on his, debut back in the ring. So he's still this cult leader, but he's trying to be Vince McMahon at the same time somehow. Next, they talked about Matt Hardy from last week, but they went to their West Coast correspondent, Vanguard 1, who wanted to go check out Nick Jackson, who was working out in his gym at home. Excuse me. He was working out in his gym at home, and he was checking on Nick Jackson's health, which he was only 61% of health. So Nick Jackson's not fully ready to come back because Nick ended up trying to swat the drone away, but the drone went away and just pretty much went out of signal at that point. So at least Vanguard 1 is being used for something. Next, AAA Mega Championship on the line. Kenny Omega versus Sammy Guevara. I swear to you, I forgot Kenny had that belt, and no one has not ever mentioned Kenny has had that belt, okay? The last time I even heard about that title, I think he defended it on Dark one time, because I know he won it from Phoenix when they had a AAA event going on, and I guess they were betting in the back, and I heard AAA wrestlers were back there too, but, and everything, because I know they showed Billy Gunn and Spears in the back. I mean, they ended up fighting outside, but yeah, I forgot Kenny Omega had this championship. I forgot Kenny had yeah, Kenny's still the AAA Mega Champ. They never mention it. They never mention it till now. So I've not heard about this title in a while now. But this was a good match. It just ate up a lot of time. I will say that. I think it got better down the stretch, but. You know, I thought Kenny and Guevara put on a very good match out there. I did find it funny when Kenny threw Guevara in the barricade and then he jumped over it. One thing you could say about Sammy Guevara, he had these drawings outside, you know, right ringside, and one had Brandy on it, and he went up, because he jumped in the barricade before they went to commercial, started making out with the pictures. Brandy looked weirded out, and then it was like a picture of Scott Hall, and then I guess one was either, Captain Kurt from Star Trek, or maybe it was Picard, I don't know, but I think it was William Shatner out there. But he had these pictures and everything, which I thought was pretty funny, though. He had in the picture, but it looked funny how Brandy just looked so disgusted and confused by Guevara making out with this picture, hand-drawn picture of her. But you know, Kenny and Guevara put on a good match, of course. Omega there, multiple V-triggers all the time, I know that. Tried to go for the J Drillman, you know, and Guevara ended up dodging it and everything, trying to take him out, but it did not work. With the head scissors, but Guevara tried to go for a shooting star. Kenny hit another V-trigger on him then. He grabbed him for another V-trigger, but it did not work. Omega went for the Snapdragon. Guevara got out of it, got a kick on him, and went to the Burning Hammer GTS move. But Omega got right back up, hit another V-trigger on him. Guevara gave him a middle finger. Kenny gave another big V-trigger. One Wing Angel for the win. Kenny still retained the AAA Mega Championship. I don't think anybody saw Kenny losing this in general, but at least they put on like almost 20-something minutes out there, and it was really good. I will say that. Very good match between Omega and Guevara. It's just, I was wondering, like, wow, AAA Mega Championship Kenny still has. I forget he had the belt till now. I really did. But we did end off the show with the confrontation of Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy. Chris Jericho came out. He had the camera. He grabbed the cameraman and pointed at the cameraman. And we need somebody to sing his theme song. So the cameraman sang Jericho's theme song. And Jericho said he nailed it. And Jericho didn't talk with a microphone, so it was a little bit hard to hear him at first. And he talked about the big debuts last week of Brody Lee and Matt Hardy. But he talked about the arrogant sons of bitches in the Elite that got Matt Hardy to join him last week. So he's offering Matt a chance to join the Inner Circle. He demanded Matt come out, but Vanguard 1 came out and said, Jericho pretty much says, you're a drone, I don't like it. So this is the part now where Chris Jericho now cuts a promo on a drone. Cuts a promo on a drone. Think about that for a second. He called the drone, Vanguard 1, a piece of shit. I don't like you. I don't like your political views. But as much as I don't like you, I respect you. And listen, you can join the Inner Circle. You can get a little bit of bubbly. We can put it in your gas tank. You can get all the Instagram drone models. They'll follow you everywhere. We'll make you to a star. We got everything for you, okay? So he offered Vanguard 1 a way to join the Inner Circle. Hey man, bubbly man, instead of gas, we got the bubbly for your gas tank. We'll keep you flying and going around. But Vanguard 1 flew away, and Jericho called it a stupid son of a bitch, and you will regret this as long as you live. So yes, we had a portion of this show where Jericho cut a promo on a drone, and I thought it was funny, and it worked. Matt Hardy came out then, which I should say he teleported there in this very bad Adobe Premiere Pro or video type, and the effects look bad. This looked really bad, okay? It's like they tried to have him teleport, but you could literally see the edit cuts of and how bad they thought it was gonna work, but that was poorly edited, okay? The way they kind of had Matt Hardy, and I'm sure they pre-taped it anyway, just having Matt stand in multiple parts of the building and stuff, but you know, the way he teleported to the front of the ring and everything looked very bad. You could just see the edit bad cuts. But Matt Hardy got in the ring. He says, "Maker of pain, I knew you come." And pretty much Jericho said, you know, from last week, yes, you teleported down to the ring. And Matt said he was magic, of course. But Jericho says, "Listen, it's an honor to have you in AEW. And let me tell you how this works. This is my show. There's no crowd here right now because I can tell when the crowd they can come in that." So he says, "Why did you come, or when you want to come to AEW? Why don't you just join us?" Hardy said he owed the Bucks of Youth their gratitude for resurrecting broken Matt Hardy. So at least we got the old broken Matt again. And he said AEW represents freedom to him. It's his Arcadia, and it must be protected at all costs. Jericho pretty much wanted to say, "Listen, I brought John Moxley in AEW. I made Sammy Guevara. I brought Hager back into wrestling. I brought all these guys into the inner circle, okay? And I am AEW." But Hardy says, "You have no idea what you are dealing with." That Jericho may recognize his vessel, but he talked about Damascus, and I saw this video online where he beat this. I don't know who Damascus is, but I saw the video of online. He consumed his body or something like that. I don't know what Damascus is. I saw what he had online. It was one of his free delete videos, but his name is Damascus, and he is over 3,000 years old, and he is a near-perfect being. And Jericho's pretty much says, "Listen, nobody knows reinventions as much as me." Which, you know, that's true. They both have reinvented themselves several times. And Matt, you know, you may look different on the outside, but you're saying that you're still the same old Matt Hardy I've known for the past 25 years, okay? And Hardy said, "Listen, it'll be the same for you, but you have corrupted you as been ever." Jericho pretty much went on to talk about Matt Hardy. He says, "Listen, you've always been the same. You lived behind the shadows. You've been the shadow of your younger brother," and they didn't mention Jeff by name. "And you've been a shadow of bad booking. Ain't that the truth?" But Jericho pretty much, you know, told him, like, "Listen, you're either with the inner circle or the elite." And Matt Hardy said, "Delete." So it was elite, delete, 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 elite. So delete, elite all over the place, okay? And Jericho told him to stop, but Hardy says there's going to be a song for the inner circle as they'll fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. Obsolete! Yeah! And pretty much Jericho told him to shut up, and Hardy pretty much talked about the essence in the building, that George Washington was in the crowd, as also Martin Luther King, that he still had a dream. So I guess Martin Luther King can teleport to watch wrestling. I didn't know he was a fan, but he talked about his son Maximilian in the crowd also, which we did not see any of these people. But Jericho pretty much said there's nobody there. Okay, and Jericho pretty much slapped him, but Matt Hardy punched him to the ground. And Jericho said, "Listen, I know a few magic tricks myself." Next, you know, Guevara came in and attacked Matt from behind. But Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega came out with chairs. They beat up Jericho and Guevara as they got up the ramp. Then Matt used the pyro as some magic and, you know, kind of scared off Jericho and Guevara and did delete, 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 delete several times to end the show. Listen, do I think it was as fun as it was last week? No, and I know it's because the crowd, or you don't have the wrestlers there out there. I enjoyed the Matt Hardy and Jericho thing. I thought that was great, and it was funny too. You know, Chris Jericho talking to a drone. Of course, we got the old Matt Hardy back, I should say, the broken Matt Hardy. Guevara and Omega was a pretty good match. I didn't know Omega still had that AAA title, but that wasn't bad. Brody Lee and this Vince McMahon thing, I can see why people are already shitting on it on Twitter. I didn't know it was a shot at first, so somebody said something about it, but once they said it was a shot of Vince McMahon, I'm like, okay, I know what they're talking about. I thought the steak thing was pretty funny, though, I will say that. Especially with the sneezes. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Especially what's going on right now. You really want to sneeze in this time of day right now? I don't think you want to be taking a chance. You sneeze, you gotta go or get yourself quarantined. So I can understand why Brody Lee would get mad. I'm trying to eat a steak dinner here, and this is how you do. You cannot eat before the Exalted One, okay? Jake Roberts' promo is pretty good. Cody and Jimmy, Cody had to carry that match. It was okay, but Cody had to carry that shit anyways. What else we got to show? Darby Allin, he had a good match with Sabian to an extent. That wasn't bad all the way, but yeah, that's what you're really gonna get on this whole 2-hour show with AEW. Listen, I know they had to stretch time on a lot of these matches. Also, Brody Lee also made his debut, I should say that. And Mox was back in the building this week to go after Hager. So I guess he may be next in line for the title. Listen, I know it's strange. It's not gonna, like I said, this is gonna go on for a while with all these wrestling shows. Because I've said, like I said before, it's almost like you're watching tryout matches or somebody doing promo class in the ring right now. I know it's not the same without a crowd, and that's with your Raw, Smack, with any show. And I know, like I said, WWE and AEW are technically the only ones in the ball game right now that's actually still doing shows. But as you can see, like I said earlier in the video, I guess they're doing restrictions even closer since they did the betting in the back, and they can't have guys out there, and they can only limit to how many people are in the ring. So I don't know, like I said before many times, we don't know how long this is going to go on, but we're just going to have to keep doing these empty arena shows. Like I said, I'm sure people are going to keep saying, man, this would look good in front of a crowd, it would look good in front of a crowd. And I know it would look good in front of a crowd, but hey, you got to take what you can get right now, okay? I know some people say they should not even be doing a show in general, just because it is, in a way, you're risking the wrestlers, personal health out there right now. Especially with this whole virus thing, we don't know what could happen. So I can understand why people did not want a show, but I thought it was pretty good, I will say that. But, we didn't have no crowd or anything to, well, I should say the wrestlers to build some type of atmosphere in this, but I did enjoy the final part of it. But like I said before, sometimes this is like a tryout match or promo class or community theater out there when you just got guys talking out there on their own, especially like last week. But it was enjoyable for what it was with AEW. But like I said, I did enjoy some things on the show tonight. But other than that, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about AEW Dynamite tonight. How long can you get through these empty arena shows, huh? And what do you think about Jericho and Matt Hardy confrontation or any other thing that was on the show? So follow me on Twitter, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show. I'm out of here. We will be back on later or something with an NXT review, since it was actually wrestling on that show this week. So we'll get into that. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace. Stay safe. Wash your hands.